Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Lisa Erickson with Climbing Injuries Solved. Today we're going to discuss how to use the Flexbar not only for strengthening and stretching, but you can also use it as a roller. All the videos on the website that I've seen with this guy are primarily showing stretching. So this is why I've decided to show strengthening primarily for climbers, because the Flexbar is a good addition to any climbing training program. The Flexbar I enjoy because the strength in climbing tends to only occur in the distal finger. That tends to be what the average person wants to focus on. We tend to forget that the wrist itself also needs to be strong, and the stability comes in preventing ranges of motion in rotation, as well as extension and flexion while we're using our fingers. So that is why I like to blend in these tools. There's two types. One is the red, which is the more entry level. This is perfect for all women to start with, as well as men that have a pretty acute injury. Or the green one, which is the next step up, and that would be for women that have been training quite a bit with the red first, or for a male that has a pretty mild injury, or for one that has a ton of muscle mass and the softer one is just too darn easy for him. With these guys, the two exercises that I like the most for strength training are as follows: the U-shapes and then the twists. The reason why I like the U-shapes is that this is strengthening up your wrist in a rotational stability pattern. So if you look from the side, my wrist is actually not really moving. It's not flexing, it's not extending, it's not rotating. It is merely supporting and stabilizing. In comparison with the twists, that is all the Flexbar rotating and bending. However, it's not involving your fingers at all. So this is working different muscles of the wrist that we don't normally use while we're climbing. With that said, I do like the red Flexbar, as I said, for entry level, but as you start to get used to it, so I would recommend 10 perfect reps if you're just starting with this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10, and then swap to 10 reps of the U-shape. Now, making sure with the U-shape, it's very easy to cheat with my shoulder to do the U-shape, so we want to make sure that we have our elbows by the side and that it is all coming from our wrists. Okay. Yeah. And then the second one is going to be twists. And with the twists, I'm demonstrating with the green guy, all of that motion should be coming, of course, from the wrist, but it locks it out so that you're not able to use the distal finger, which is what we're so strong with in climbing. All the videos I've seen online do tend to show the stretch, which is to twist it opposing directions, straighten your arm out, and slowly relax. And we want to be careful with doing this stretch, because if you feel too much pain or anything sharp over the back, that is something we want to avoid. Another thing to keep in mind while doing these exercises is if while you're doing these exercises you are hearing a snap every time, or you're feeling something click or move in your wrist, that is something we want to address before we start doing your exercises, because a snap every time is most likely a tendon clicking over a bony prominence in your wrist. That's going to create tendonitis. That could get worse with exercises, so my recommendation on that would be to go in, and when you find that you do indeed have a click, I want you to feel where that click is, try to locate what structure it's coming from, and then go either on Google Images or go into an anatomy book. There's photos of it in my book, Climbing Injuries Solved, and I want you to trace down and find what muscle belly is causing that click. When you find what muscle belly is associated that comes up and becomes that tendon, then you can take your roller and you can get onto that muscle belly and pressurize it and start getting it to loosen up. So you can either do this on the table, or you can lean against a wall to do it, like this way on the wall. But we definitely want to get those muscly areas that are clicking to loosen up so that we're not getting repetitive snaps. So with that said, if you've never done this before, I want you to gently work it into your routine. Before climbing, you're more than welcome to do it, but just be very gentle with it, and it is a perfect warm-up. We don't want to go all the way to fatigue if we're about to go climbing, unless it's a long, easy day. This is something that is perfect for rounding out your stability strength program. Say you have a pulley tendon injury, say you have a flexor tendon that is bothering you, say you have an injury on the top of your finger from one of your extensor tendons trying to pull off of the cartilage hood that it is normally attaches onto. All of those are going to benefit from strengthening up your wrist, but definitely let pain be your guide. If you're having any clicking, snapping, we've already discussed that. If you're having any sharp pains, it means you're doing too much too soon, and we want to loosen up that tissue and warm it up first. Stretches that would go very nicely before you do the Flexbar, if you need stretches first, would be gentle wrist circles, nice and easy, maybe 10 circles each way, swap directions. Or you can go in and we can start doing this nice wrist warm up where you're stretching the top of one, but if you look closely, I'm really stretching through the fingers and pushing down and stretching the underside and into the palm and into the fingers on the other one. So that is a perfect warm up to do before you use the Flexbar if you're someone who truly does have an injury and the Flexbar is a workout for you. I definitely do this before I hop on the wall for any type of climb, and it's a perfect warm-up if you are really trying to rehab an area of your wrist or through the underside of your forearm or even through the back of your forearm. Those are some perfect stretches that would nicely assist these guys. So I do sell these on my website, Climbing Injury Solved again, and if you have any questions on how to use these, I would love to hear from you. You can reach me at climbinginjuriessolved@gmail.com. And I hope that you pop on the website. I've got plenty of other videos to look at as well as different blog posts, and hearing from you with your questions would help me to make better videos for other people. My goal is to really give back and teach you guys how to work on yourself and to prevent injuries as well as to strengthen you up so you can go do what you love. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you.